Welcome, young Mage. I'm Papa Mage, and today we're not actually doing any magic, playing magic. What I'm doing is I am building the overlay, and let me pull that up real quick. That's this thing right here. So this overlay is what we use to bring up the cards underneath us when we are playing. Excuse me. So I've had some interesting time with the original version of this, and it's been a bit of a pain, but I decided to do another version where it is based off of a database, and I'm just working on improving it as best as I can and looking for other people to comment some and tell me what they think. I'm going to have chat windows open. I got so many things open because I was trying to get stuff going. Oh, hey. So it's a video in a video. Yes. So this is kind of the behind the scenes stuff that I'm working on. And so this right here is the control panel for the we call it cardboard combat. So we can load in a deck. I can hit that, bring up Elvish Clan Caller, and then it should pop right up over there. Before, this was a huge problem. We had so many things where it just I would have to go in and do a special refresh and clear cookies and stuff like that. So this is all database driven now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on coding this some more. There's a couple things that I want to add to this, and actually I don't have a deck loaded. Aha! And so I was going to explain to some people what this is, and we're going to make this available once it gets a little further along to other content creators so that they can do their own paper magic and have all this stuff come up. Now, I'll quickly pop in and show the database. All right, the database is, we've got the card database. The collection database isn't being used yet. It was what I used to kind of start things up. The deck database is, it should have been decks, plural, but I got so far along in this and then I went, oh, yeah, it should be decks. Well, too far along now. And then this was my pattern for creating the deck list. And then the game, this is game controls. So the card database. Now what we're doing with this, and let me pull this out nice and big so you can see it, is whenever we load up a deck, it automatically grabs the cards from Scryfall using Scryfall's API. And so we've got things like the card name and the multiverse ID, and we've got a second multiverse ID if it's a flip card. Where we store the image on our machine locally. The flip image, if we have a flip image, the mana cost, converted mana cost, all this other good information, rarity, what set it was from, and all that. So that's what where we store the cards. The collection is going to be a quantity, card name, card set, and the date that the card was put in to the collection, or the set of cards was put in the collection. That's something in the future. So the deck, or decks database, has a deck ID. Now this creates the deck ID. And this is a number based off of to the millisecond of when you uploaded the deck. So they're always going to be different. And then it's got the deck name. And if it looks kind of funky to you, that's because I've encoded it, done a URL encode so that we can put in spaces and commas and slashes and things like that you normally couldn't. I've got a spot here for the deck format. I haven't done anything with that yet. And the colors, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get to the point where it will look through the deck and it'll automatically populate that with the colors of the deck, so we don't have to think about that anymore. I had thought about doing color identity, but yeah, it's just too much. Okay, so the deck list, now these are generated when we load in a deck. So we've got the quantity of cards, and of course this happens to be a commander deck. The card name, the multiverse ID, the flip version, and if it's in the sideboard or not. So let's go here. Now right now I've only got one way of loading in the decks. Let's see. So I've got two programs, pretty much. Well, technically three, but two programs. This one is to edit the game, and then this one is to load in decks. And so you'll see at the top here, I've got like the database queries, so I can see what's going on. But in this case, we're going to choose a deck, and let's see. I don't have this Mu Yangling Celestial Wind. That's this deck right here, which we still haven't opened yet. But we know what the deck list is. And this is using Deck Builder format. I'm going to make other versions that will load in the TCG player format and pretty much any other format that you can think of. It's not that difficult to add extra formats to this. It's just it'll take a minute or two. So there's loading in the Mulang, and I do an import, and you might notice down here it says waiting for local host. What's actually happening in the background is it is loading in cards into the htdocs cards directory, and it's doing it based off of the multiverse ID. Now the problem that I've always had in the past was, well, when I first started doing this, the multiverse ID out of Deck Builder was great, worked perfectly every time. Now they've been trying to speed things up, and they created like their own multiverse ID, which screws everything up, and I have to put in code to swap out cards and change numbers and all that. Well, what this does now is it goes through, it grabs the cards based off of the name, and then it gets the latest version of the card and uses that multiverse ID. Not the most ideal thing, but in some formats, file formats, there's a quantity, a card name, and then a set. And I can do that as well. So if we end up with something like that, then I can definitely put in the right set ID for it. But so it loads in them all based off the multiverse ID. We'll toss that down there because we don't need to see that anymore at the moment. And yeah, it's all organized into one folder. At one point, I had thought of creating all these different folders, and then, man, it was going to be a big pain to, oh, hey, we don't have this folder. Let's create that folder. Now copy that. Now let's manage where all the folders are. Right now, it's just /cards, and that's it. And you know, if you run out of space, actually the cards don't take up that much space because I'm using the large version of the let's see here, how do we okay. I mean the file size, yeah, 250 kilobytes. That's not that bad. And I'm even planning on putting this onto a Raspberry Pi, and I can easily load in the entire set of cards into that Raspberry Pi on I think a 16 gig memory card, and we're good. So, all right. So one of the things I need to work on is this right here, this code, this deck ID. When I get over here, I don't have a way of selecting which deck I want to load in. Used to have this code down here where I could choose a deck and upload it. This is the old version of the code, old version of load images and all that. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just copying and pasting that, and boom, there it is. And so if I want to bring up the Brian Bourne Cutthroat, I click that, and there it is. It shows up here, and it should be right there. And one thing that you should note is I click on this, and within 5 seconds, it should update on the other side. That's because I've got this, the overlay page, doing that every 5 seconds. I'm getting this strange flashing, and I don't know if that's a problem coming through or not. But I'll take a look and see what I can come up with. The other thing is I've got like it automatically pulling the name based off of the file name of the original deck. So I need to have an ability to edit that. Another thing I need to do is right here, and I've always just gone through and I've edited this by just hitting some numbers on the keyboard. What I want to do is add a plus and a minus ability. The long-term idea behind this is to basically split this up into multiple places where somebody can log in, and they only see, like, they can use their phone and they only end up seeing their cards, and they go, okay, I'm playing this card. They hit the button on their phone, they play the card, and then on the other person's phone, the card comes up. Now, you might wonder, why am I thinking about doing this? Why would I want to do something like that with phones or iPads or something like that? Well, I want to make this so that we could end up playing somebody somewhere else. Kind of like with Magic Arena, but maybe, there's another content creator that we want to play a game against. What we can do is I can move this over to like the Young Mage web server, give them a place where they can log in, they can load up their deck, so we can't see their deck. But then when they go to play a card, it sends it to us, and then we can see that card and read that card and go, oh, okay, now I know what they're doing. The game doing that's a little problematic, but it's not too bad. So, kind of looking at, let's see. Oh, it's all going over your head. Well, I do know that there's some people that are interested in this, and we've had a couple people ask us, oh, how do we do the overlays? And this is all just basic HTML and PHP, and This looks like I am dropping frames like crazy. Don't know why. Using like all of a sudden our bandwidth just tanked out. So over here I've got cardboard combat. So yeah, you can see all the junk on the table right now, and yeah, you can see the top of the Lego that we use for putting webcams on and such. But let's do this real quick. So I do wing words, hit the button there, shows up over here, and it shows up there. And maybe I gained life. So 35 life. And yeah, the other camera is sitting over here. Okay. So looking at this and going, oh, okay, let me figure out what I can do. I don't really need this code showing up here anymore. So let me go and get rid of that. That's on the edit. And I gotta remember where it is. One thing you'll notice is I didn't do a lot of comments because I generally don't have to, at least not for me. But I am adding in comments as I go along because I want to make this available to other people to grab and extend and fiddle around with. And it's not anything that anybody's would probably be willing to pay for. So this is just one of those labors of love. And hey, that's gone. One thing that's been annoying me is that it doesn't update the time stamp, and it's supposed to do that automatically. That's here in game and in the structure timestamp, and it says on update. Oops. On update current timestamp. It doesn't do anything. So I don't know why that's not working. I used to do a lot of stuff with databases. I don't anymore. Let me do this. I want to copy that. Maybe what it is. Wait a second. No, that is the current timestamp. So, yay, that means that it is working, and I'm missing that in my code. That'd be this. Game timestamp. So, let's see here. Yep, game timestamp. That doesn't make any sense then. Wonder if I can just echo. Let me do this. I'm going to echo well. Or let me make sure that I am. I've called it. Could be that I just haven't called it yet. Because if I haven't called the function, is it there? Game controls? Nope, there it is. Oh, it is there. Let me just echo that. And so lo and behold, we have reload and okay, it's got it. So I'm just going to get rid of this. Apparently I don't need all of that extra code there. And if anybody wants to know, this is what you call hacking. Not cracking, hacking. And load, continue, boom, there it is, last update. So if we look at the time 20:33:28, let's bring up a frost links, boom, 38:45. So yeah, that's good. So one thing that I could potentially do is I could use this to check to see if there's an update going and just only trigger things if an update hasn't happened in a while or something like that. All right. Let's see. Not many people jumping in. Let's see. What's going on? Yeah, I figured there wouldn't be a lot of people popping on. I just didn't want to create a video so people see that we're actually working on stuff. And right now, we were going to stream our game tonight, but Rhino got really tired, and unfortunately, when he gets tired, he needs to take a nap. Otherwise, he'll start having more seizures. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to get him up here reasonably soon so he can take his medicine. And unless no, he's not moving around. All right, so I need to come up with a way of adding to the value of a number. And I got to figure out how to do that with this. See, the interesting thing about how this works is in order for this page to do anything, I have to submit the page. So it goes into a post as opposed to a get. And so it has to reload it. And then it takes all that post information and then throws it into the database. So if I do this, maybe what I need to do is I need to make a button or something like that next to the life that would be a plus or a minus. Because I've got this right here is game, it echoes player life. What I have to do, I could make let me just make a button. So normally what I would do is I would do a button, or do I want to do a button, or do I want to do an image? This is the problem with doing something new that I haven't already figured out what I want to do. Um, hmm. Let me get the button syntax. I want to make sure I get it right. It's really bad when okay, it's just button doesn't autofocus. And I could set it up so that this autofocus we can basically, as soon as you click the button, it automatically submits, as opposed to hitting the button and doing something else. And I've got, yeah, down here at the bottom is the submit button, an input submit button. But if I do that, it's not going to update things because it needs the submit to come from that button. Well, that's a pain in the butt. Okay, so I'm just going to have to think about that a little bit. Let me go to something else that's going to be probably just as difficult. And that is figuring out how I'm going to do the decks. If you want to know, all right, so I got this code here. Okay, so there's the edit, but this is what I use for loading up the decks. And you want to know what a deck looks like from Deck Builder. It looks like this. So it's got the 3 slashes. It has a multiverse ID, the quantity, the name, and then the location if it's in the deck or in the sideboard. And then it's got the quantity and the name again just by itself. So you could end up ignoring a lot of this, but one of the problems, okay, so what we'll do is you look through and you'll see like all the numbers are 6-digit for this deck. I got some that are, I think I might have some really old cards in here, but most of the cards are 6-digit until you hit this one right here. And Burn Bright is 7 digits. The 1, 2, 3, this right here is not a real multiverse ID. It's something that Deck Builder created. So that was what was giving me all the problems before. And sometimes it would take me an hour to get a new deck loaded in because I'd have to go through and I'd have to figure out all these multiverse IDs manually. That was a pain. So now when we load, it grabs the multiverse ID, but it's more interested in the quantity and the name and the location. So we don't need that up at the moment. And let's see here. And that's still not doing anything. Where's my phone? My phone is dead or something. So, let's see. I got a couple people in chat. That's good. So, with the loading of decks, I only need the deck. What I might do is down here at the bottom of this is I've got some code that lists these decks and the ability to delete them, all that. What I might do is I might take this code so that's this code right here. All right, let me copy that and go over to the editor. And I am going to get rid of those right there. I'll put this in place. And let's see if my code worked the way I thought it would. Okay, so down here, yay, all right. So yeah, it loaded in all the decks. What I can do is I could probably do a load player 1 or load player 2. That might work. And I can use this sort of thing to figure out which way I want to do it. Or I wonder if I can put that to, I want to move it. I want to move it up here so it's inside the form. I might be able to do something funky with the form. If I could do it with the form, that would be cool. And yeah, okay, there we go. So now it loads up here. So it has the deck name, the deck ID, and the date updated. We don't need the date updated. But what I can do is I can do a button. Or do I want to just do an input field? Don't know what I want to do. I want to do. I think I can do it this way. So there's a bit of code that has to go up in the top, which is this stuff right here. So I can do like a player 1 deck. And if I do a player one deck. That'd be kind of strange because that'd be reloading it twice. I'll put that up there. And well, I could always copy this code over, but only deal with the one set. Yeah, that might work. That might work. Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured people wouldn't be that interested in just me doing all this by myself. Oh. And I'm not even showing you what I'm doing. Gee. Okay. That's the problem when you've got all this stuff going on. Okay. All right. So what I've done is I've moved the code for the deck list down here. Now we've got a problem with the deck list is because at some point all of these decks will get loaded in and we'll have 100 decks in there. We'll have to clean those up and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go over here and get the code going. And I'm going to copy this. And so I am going to do this. If player one deck is set, then what I want to do is I want to get the deck. We don't need all this extra gobbledygook because it is going to be all coded right here. So this will be the deck ID one. And then what we do is copy this. And we don't need all of this stuff. We just need this right here. And I think that will work for that. So now what I need to do is I need to write the code in here where I will basically just copy this code. So it's going to be player one deck. Equals, and we're going to set deck. All right, let's reload this and see what happens. All right, so if I want this to become Yu Yang Ling deck. Boom. It didn't do it. Or did it? No, it didn't do it. So I missed something. Don't worry, this happens all the time. Yeah. In fact, the other night I was working on some code and I felt like I was just pounding my head against the wall. Oh, what's wrong with the heist today? You need to have more people. More people need to be playing at the moment. That's how that heist thing works. So, yeah, all right, is this, yep, that's right. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do this. And reload this page. And then set deck. Oh. I think I might know what the problem is already. I think I lost where I was. Okay. All right. I think that might be it. Let's see if that's it. Reload. And set deck. And it still didn't do it. Set player one. What? Okay, apparently I did the wrong thing. Or did I? Yep, I did. No? Set player one. Oh, yeah, I did. So this should be the deck ID, and this should be player one deck. Save, and let's reload that deck. Okay. Deck ID one. Yeah. Maybe it's that. Boom, there it goes. Okay. So now I can just take and copy this code. I don't need that there. I don't need that there. I don't need this here. So player 2 deck. Let's get player 2 deck, deck ID 2, player 2 deck, deck ID 2, and that should work. Come down here to where this is. That's interesting. I didn't realize I had that set as button. Oh well. To the deck. There we go. So now, if I reload the page, I should be able to go, okay, now that's Vivian. Callback Rhino. Okay. Vivian Nature's Artisan. I want to set that deck. All right, cool. So, player 1. Two. And let's reload. Okay, so set player 1, set player 2. I can get rid of the deck ID because we don't really need to have that in there anymore. Since I've got that here, we'll get rid of that code. And deck name. Okay, so got all that code there. I don't need it inside the table. So I'm going to pull it out of the table, put it in the bottom, and everything breaks. What did I do wrong? Looks like I am. That's where it was. Oh, okay. I need to go here. That's what I was. All right, so let's reload that. Boom, there it goes. Now down there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take these right here. Originally, with the last version of the code, this went out to another file to do an external update. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it internal. Let's see. All right. Hey, I got several more people on here. So, MTG strategist. Yes, it is a nerd party. It's coding and getting this thing working. So, yeah, just so you know, we've got this overlay that we use, or underlay, or whatever you want to call it, for when we play, and wanted to have the ability for it to work a lot better. And So I can do this real quick, and then those will update. And then this can go into the video so that you can pick and choose your cards and show them. And so I'm just adding in little features right now. It kind of just, it plugs along and it kind of works. I've got the ability to load in decks from Deck Builder. So let me go ahead. I want to import in Soren, and we come here to. Oops. Oh, there it is. Cards. So as it loads in the deck, it grabs the multiverse ID, loads in the images, loads in a bunch of other stuff too. So now Soren is available there, and since Soren is available there, Soren should be available down here. So I can say, okay, to player 2, I'm going to set that. So now player 2's is Soren. And then I can do Soren Vampire Lord. Oh, shows up there and shows up there. Okay, next thing I need to do is I need to work on the life totals. I need to, I'm going to do the reset. So I need to do a reset to 20 and a reset to 40. Feels like Rhino might be waking up. So if I do a reset 20, what I want to do is I want to get rid of the card ID, because once I get rid of the card ID, the card disappears. And then I want to set the totals to 20. So if I'm going to do that, all right. Okay, it's not going to be that difficult. So this is in the editor. Yeah, and I got to pull all the style sheets out and stuff like that too. I'm going to kind of do a unified style sheet. And so when you're coding, it gets really messy. So let's do this. I am hey, I can do something that a little more tricky with this. Let me make it reset game. And Ryan, are you up? Yeah? No. No, you're not up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a reset game, and I'm going to copy this code here for reset game. And I want to do life total. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so now what I need to do is I am going to copy this big nasty SQL update. Everything. Reset. Okay, so what I want to do is this life total is player life total. Okay, we'll get rid of the colors. We don't need colors. We're going to leave the deck IDs. Okay, the cards. That's what we want to get rid of. We want to get rid of cards. I'm not worried about the title and all this stuff there. So we set the cards to nothing. And then we set the, oh, good thing I did that. So I would see that that was all screwed up. All right. Now what I can do is it's reset game. So I can come down here and I am going to where there's a submit. All right. Run. All right. Yeah.
Did go to the lodge?
Yes, they walked to the lodge. All right. So what we're going to do is this, right? I am going to replace this code with that. Okay, I'm going to echo that. I don't need all of this. All right. So what I want to do is I want to do. Did I do a capital G? No, I did a lowercase g. Reset game. And I'm going to do a reset game equals 20. And say new game 20. New game 20. And all I have to do is this here, this bit of code, here to here, and do a new game 40. All right, what are the chances that this is going to work first time?
50-50
Kind of doubt it. Okay. Okay. So let's do new game 20. Oh my goodness, it worked. New game 40. Okay. So Rhino's here.
Hey.
Hey. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't have that many people on. All right. So now, yeah, so we can do a new game 20. It updates. Okay, so we've made this super easy for you, bud. Which deck do you want to run?
Ooh.
Let's do Vivian. Boom. Okay, it loaded up Vivian right there. Which deck am I running? I'll run this one. Boom, loaded it up. Vivian, there. Chandra, Flames Fury, there. um, so one of the things that I need to do, I think, is in the load over here is have the ability to update, to change the deck name, or I don't know, some way of doing that. I just need kind of a list of things that people would want done.
Mm.
But okay, which one? Oh, we haven't loaded up a Johnny. Let's load up M20 a Johnny. Import it.
Then you will have a Johnny.
Yeah, I need to take out. Does it say her dropping table?
I didn't know Vivian was blue.
Yeah, that's going to be updated later. You know, we can. What you can do here is you just go here and you go G, and this is red, and then it updates that. But at some point, I'm going to have it go through, and when it loads in the decks, it's going to figure out what colors are available in the deck, and it'll automatically populate that. I just don't know how to do a query across all the colors to figure that out, because it's all text. But yeah, there's probably a way to do it. I just don't necessarily know how to do it myself. Oh yes, we do have a Feather EDH deck. Let me load it up because I think I have a version of it, Feather Commander deck.
I don't think I've played the Feather deck.
No. Yeah, it says record deleted successfully. Oh, that's because when I deleted earlier, so this, I've got the ability to delete a deck from here. And it had to set a session variable. No, it didn't set a session variable. It's just, it still has delete deck available when I do the import. Okay, so it's loading up the cards now. So we can go here, and yeah, I can set that right there, and you can tell that cards are getting loaded in.
That's so cool. You can see Bob.
Yeah.
So, when did you start?
When did I start? I don't know. A little while ago. Let's see. I started an hour ago.
Hmm.
And okay. Let me get rid of that, that. Still loading.
That sucks.
Well, it's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm streaming at the same time that's trying to load them.
Yeah, that does take a lot.
But you know, the neat thing is, as it goes through and it loads up the cards, if I already got it in there, it doesn't reload it. So, yeah, at some point, when we get everything loaded in the way we want it loaded in, then that will um, um, when you go to load in a new deck, it might, yeah, it won't take any time to load it in. It'll go through and go, oh yeah, I got all that.
Yeah.
Um, so, especially once we do things that are like standard and stuff like that, that's gonna be a big deal. And it's still loading cards. Okay.
Well, I am going to give you.
Yes, I would like a drink as well. Go ahead and fill up my yellow cup. Okay, looks like we're almost done. Done. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like I got another error in here. We'll figure out where that comes from. Okay, so Feather, Commander deck. We've got it loaded. We can come here, reload the page. Feather Commander deck. That is player one. Boom. Okay, so Adamant Will, Crown Crusader, Anger, Arid Mesa, Aurelia's Fury. Let's see. What else are you saying?
Oh
I,
man, I can't go high pit.
Alduvian Rage, Balefire Liege. This is great for buffing things. Blessed Breath. That's really cool to get protection. Okay, all the Boros stuff. Brute Strength. Okay, Burn from Within. When you've got a lot of extra mana left over, and I got things in here that will help produce a bunch of red mana or green mana. Burn from Within is great. Gets rid of indestructibles and stuff like that.
Indestructible creatures.
And
And people don't really play it.
Yeah. The other thing is Chain Reaction. That's really cool because I also have things in here like that will give my stuff indestructible, or I'll do Chain Reaction and I'll blink everything. Oh, I've won a bunch of games with just Chandra's Ignition because yeah, you just you buff up Feather and then you just Chandra's Ignition, Chandra's Ignition, Chandra's Ignition, and that's amazing. Okay, Crimson Wisps. Let's see here.
So with Crimson Wisps, you mainly want to do it for the draw card?
Yeah, that's double cleave. I've used this a lot. Double strike is really cool.
Oh yeah, especially if you put it on feather.
I have yet to actually fire off Electro Dominance. It seems like it's always come up right as right as I'm winning the game. Elite Scale Guard. He's kind of cool because I'll hit him and oh no, it's not him. It's which one was it? It's another creature that whenever it gets targeted, you give all other creatures a 1/1 counter.
Well, I don't know. I haven't played that before.
Let's see. Graceful Reprieve.
So it basically gives it a funky indestructible.
Yeah. Now, something you need in the deck. You definitely need in the deck if you don't have it is Mirrorwing Dragon. This is so freaking cool in this deck. When you get this out, you would only target Mirrorwing Dragon, but then it copies that to everything else. So
including your opponents?
No, to each other creature that player controls. So I target the spell to Mirrorwing Dragon, then I get all the triggers on all of my other creatures. So things like launch the fleet. If you have a whole bunch of stuff out, and you have Mirrorwing Dragon, you do launch the fleet for one, just on Mirrorwing Dragon, and then you get you get a whole bunch of white soldier tokens. It's so cool to do that. Oh, it's Phalanx Leader. That's it. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control.
That includes him.
That includes him. Yeah, it is just so freaking awesome to do that.
I think it's phallic.
Phalanx.
Phalanx.
Yeah. Feel like I need more win cons. Okay. Okay, how many token generators am I running? All right. Young Pyromancer is definitely one. I've got things like Launch the Fleet.
Those two.
Let's see. Oh, Tagic. If you don't have Tagic, put Tagic in there.
He's a definite.
Oh yeah, he's a definite one because when he comes out, basically all non-combat damage can't be prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. So what you do is you have Tagic, and then you do something like chain reaction.
The chain reaction.
Okay. It deals X damage to each creature. Well, you're preventing all combat damage to
your creatures,
except for Tagic, and then you might have something where you can give him like protection from red or something like that. Because I got like God's Willing in here.
Oh yeah. Why would you not have that?
Yeah. Let's see. What does Krinko do?
Oh, I love Krinko. I played him in. I don't know why I played him in.
Yeah. So he creates tokens.
And it won't counter.
Yeah. But then you bring out that many tokens. Loyal Apprentice. Yeah, that creates a couple of Thopters. It's not. It's not huge, but it's pretty reasonable. So as long as you have your commander out, you create a Thopter each turn, and it's easy to keep Feather out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, I do have Gutter Snipe in here. The thing about, as soon as you bring out Gutter Snipe, it becomes an immediate target. So, yeah.
That's the downside.
Well, yes, it's a downside, but it's also it becomes a target. So something else may not be a target.
So if you have like a Mirrorwing Dragon out,
yeah, people will go after the Gutter Snipe before they go after the Mirrorwing, and they just don't realize what it can do. Let's see. I got Defiant Strike in here. I had Defiant Strike, God's Willing, and what? And Brute Strength. Okay. So I had Defiant Strike, Brute Strength, God's Willing, and I won. Maybe it was Chandra's Ignition as well. I had that in my hand as well. But I was doing those three at the very beginning of the game, and I was getting in lots of commander damage. And then I think I got Chandra's Ignition, and I hit them with that a couple of times. So by like turn 8, I think I killed everybody.
That's what you get when you.
Yeah. Run and Follow the Titan, since Surge is extremely easy to pull off with Feather. Yeah. I think I had that in one version of this deck.
Oh, love the hammer.
Yeah, Follow the Hand. I think target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. Yeah, that was one of my removal ideas. Impact Resonance. That is.
So what does it do?
Okay, it deals X damage, divided as I want, among any number of target creatures. Only creatures. Where X is the greatest amount of damage dealt by a single source to a permanent or player this turn. So somebody ends up swinging for 20, you do Impact Resonance, and it's like, okay, now I've got 20 damage that I get to filter out amongst whatever I want to filter out on.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like.
And what you do is you target 1 damage to one of your own creatures, so it goes back into your own hand. When Feather's out, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people miss that. Yeah, they miss that. Yeah, Anger, of course, is great in this deck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, make me discard a card. fine. I'll discard anger. Oh, everything's got haze now. Yay!
Yay!
Let's see what else I got in here.
And the real trick around
Log Savage.
and the real trick around Franco 10th Street and Kingpin is yeah, the downside is you put one counter, wait, in turn put one counter, but you would buff him up and then buff him up really big and then attack with him, and it doesn't say deal damage.
Yeah. Samut Sprint. +2/+1 and then Scry. Yeah. And then you layer the triggers in such a way where you can Scry, and then you do like Crimson Wisps. So you go, okay, I'm going to Scry. No, I don't want that. Draw a card, or yes, I want that card. Yep. So 10th District Legionnaire. This can be this isn't as good as some of these others, but in certain cases it works really well. And it's a 2-drop 2/2, and if you got Feather out, you just keep hitting this with the cards instead of Feather, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
And you Scry.
Yeah. What's the one that does the Legion? Because I was thinking about putting that in instead of Mog Salvage. And I think this has got a board wipe in it, and I think I've taken it out.
Because you don't like board wipes?
Well, it just, board wipes don't make sense in this deck, really. I want to keep things going. Okay, how important is it to live wire lash? Okay. I have won games off of commander damage.
People think that commander damage is just another thing.
Yeah. So live wire lash. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's only well, it's an equipment. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I do end up buffing Feather a lot of times with all the cards to do a card draw or give it a protection. There have been times when I've had like Young Pyromancer out, and so I'm casting a spell, and I'm creating an elemental, so I'll cast like 3 or 4 spells on Feather that do nothing, but really all it does is it gives me more tokens, and they come back to my hand anyway. So yeah, I'll take a look at putting live wire lash in there. While I'm thinking about it, I've got to fix some code out of here. Let me deck name and I think I can probably might just make sense just to delete those right there. And let's reload the page. So yeah, okay. There's the deck name and player one. Yay. All right, more stuff. We have a janky combo. I like janky combos. I've run into some real interesting combos in like my Mirko Ross deck, stuff like that, which I need to update. I think Sunday we can stream on Sunday. We can stream some Commander stuff.
Yeah.
Livewire Lash, Runaway Steam Can. Yeah, I got Runaway Steam Can in here. Yeah. So Livewire Lash plus Runaway Steam Can. Okay, so you put the Livewire Lash on Runaway Steam Can.
Slash.
So let's see. Oh, Stupid Rug's on.
Hey, Stupid Rug.
Yeah, okay. I can kind of see that. Now, one thing that I can do, I've been trying to figure out how I can easily plus and minus on the life total here. And I think I know how to do it, because what I'll do, I've got to pass a parameter. Yeah, I got it. So what I'm going to do is for player one life, and I'm going to do a life total. Life total. And I'm going to copy this. You know, you probably need to take a medicine, but so we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of this. And then all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a minus and a plus. I'm going to set it right underneath this just to see what it looks like. Player one life, set the life total, and then I do the update. All right. So where is, here it is. So what I want to have is I want to have something that is basically a link where I have -1, and then I have a +1. So So those are going to be the basic links. And then I'm going to have the break. Excuse me. So if I just do this and I reload, it should just appear -1, +1. Okay. I'll worry about styling this stuff later. So now what I want to do is I want to echo so I want to set this to -1. And this is going to be player 1 life. And I am going to have it set to I want to take the current life total so equals
Okay.
okay. So I'm going to set this to the player 1 life total. So this code right here, I can replace that with this. And then I can do this minus. Let's see if that works. Okay, and same 20. Okay. Do this. Life -1 equals I'll do it. And does that say 19? Yes.
Is 19?
Yes. Okay, so if we do this, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Okay, so now,
yeah.
so life plus 1. So what I need to do now is I'm going to and change this to life plus +1 right there. Um, and let's reload. Oops, it might help if I put a plus sign there.
Ooh, coding.
Yes.
The entire thing won't work.
Oh no, it'll work just fine still. So now we reload. All right, so now we can +1.
Yay!
Now I can put in a -10 and a +10.
Oh.
Okay. And actually, what I might do, we take that off there. Let's see. Price plus.
What about the other side?
Yeah. I wrote it for one side.
Yeah, I know.
And now I copy it over to the other side. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Right. So whenever you do Livewire Lash on Steamkin, when you target it with a 1 CMC spell, it shocks your opponent, and Steamkin grows. You do it 3 times in one turn. You let your opponent end his turn with a 4/4 Steamkin. Next opponent, you get those cards back, and you remove 3 counters, get 3 mana, and cast those 3 spells. Yeah, and you go over and over and over and over. Yeah, just as long as somebody doesn't have a counter spell, you're good.
Or murdered.
Yeah.
So you can make a Steamkin a big.
Yeah. Okay, so player 1 life. Okay, so we're going to do a player 2 life. And we'll do a player 2 life there. And now we roll it down here. We copy this. And so we're going to do life total 2. Player 2. 2. 2. Okay. And now we copy this here. And player 2 life. Oh, I just no. because I don't want this to be confused with that. Get rid of this BR here. Line break. Save and reload. Boom.
Woo!
And that catches up with this.
That is really cool.
All right. Yeah, so everything's run server side on this. Kind of funky, but hey. That way I know it gets updated in the database and all that. So that's, I think it. Okay. Yes, the thing that makes Feather great is the 1-mana white protection spells. Cloud Shift, yeah, God's Willing, Mefaria, actually, do we have that one? So Live Lash, I don't know that we have Live Wire Lash. And do we have this one?
Not in the deck, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be cool in the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we don't have the Live Wire Lash. Okay, well, let's see. We've been running for a little while here. I have no idea how long we've been running because I didn't leave that up. So I think, well, it's 10 o'clock. So I think we're going to go ahead and shut things down here. I'm probably going to stay up and continue working on this stuff. But if anybody's interested in the software, wanted to stream and stuff like that, let me know. We will definitely, we're going to create a list and see who wants to help out with setting this stuff up. And I got to figure out how dummy proof I need to make it and all that.
Yeah.
Because you have to load in this thing called XAMPP. Let me move it over here. I'll get this out of the way. So XAMPP runs Apache and MySQL, and have to load in the database, at least the start of the database. I don't have any code to do that yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So.
Okay. Well, you opened it, so you close it.
Yeah, I said, well, we have more videos coming out soon, and you can see all of the infinite stuff. And let's see. Yeah. Oh, Marriott. Okay.
After Mary.
Yeah, but this looks pretty good too. So.
They blink it.
Yeah, you blink it, and then it has rebound. That's pretty cool. So we have more videos coming out soon and more cool stuff coming up. So until then, let me find the end stream button. Oh, there we go.